Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is said to be the end of the sequel trilogy that will have a lot of emotional moments in this film surrounding the characters of Rey, Kylo Ren, Luke Skywalker, and more by J.J. Abrams. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one interesting thing about Episode 9 is that we do know that J.J. Abrams is going to be doing a lot of special things for the character of Luke, both in the forms of a flashback and, of course, in the form of a Force Ghost, as well as other unexpected aspects of the Star Wars franchise that will be introduced in this movie involving the character of Luke Skywalker. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very intriguing for Episode 9. Now, specifically, it's described that one of the sequences that were filmed during the month of January over at Cardington involved Mark Hamill, Daisy Ridley, and Adam Driver, where it said that Daisy was kneeling down to an unconscious Adam Driver portraying Kylo Ren, where he appeared to have an injury in his abdominal area. It's described that Daisy was instructed to act in a way of crying and shedding tears. Another sequence shot involved Mark Hamill walking toward Daisy and Adam in front of a green screen, where it's described that one of the visual plans for the scene involved making Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker transition from a Force Ghost with the blue hue and transparency to appearing as if he is flesh and blood, as well as being solid in form. It's described that one of the big scenes involved Mark Hamill kneeling down to Kylo Ren and placing his hand on Kylo's head, where it said that this is the moment in which Luke transitions to solid form for the sequence. It's described to be one of the most emotional moments in the film that is based within the third act of the movie. So I really want to go over a couple of parts about this. A lot of people have been talking about exactly what J.J. Abrams is going to do with the character of Luke Skywalker, Kylo Ren, Rey, you name it. And I really wanted to take a look here at the character of Luke. Now, this by far is the biggest indicator of Luke Skywalker coming back to life, at least temporarily, resurrecting himself from the netherworld of the Force in order to do something for Kylo Ren. From what it seems, Luke Skywalker is performing the same exact thing that Obi-Wan Kenobi did to Padme, and of course what Obi-Wan did to Luke, and finally what Palpatine did to Anakin, which is when they place their hand on top of the person's forehead when it seems like they are unconscious. Now, this to me, it sounds like that they are trying to create a lot of parallels as well as creating a lot of revelations in the film, and like I say, this by far is the biggest revelation involving the character of Luke Skywalker and Kylo Ren. Now, we do know that resurrection is going to play a role in Episode 9 in some way, shape, or form. And the fact that resurrection will be applied to one of the major characters, that's either going to dwindle down to Kylo Ren, Palpatine, and/or Luke Skywalker. So the piece that I do want to go over involves the description of course, Kylo Ren, how he's unconscious on the ground, where it's described that he has a injury in his abdominal area, where the character of Luke Skywalker eventually appears in the form of a Force Ghost with the blue hue and transparency, where he eventually transitions into solid form as if he is flesh and blood, where he kneels down to Kylo Ren and places his hand on top of his forehead. So what's going on here, and exactly why was Daisy Ridley instructed to act in a way as if she was very sad and shedding tears over Kylo Ren on the ground? Now, it's unclear on exactly how Kylo Ren got the injury. It could have been from the new villain called the Dark Acolyte. It could have been maybe, Rey inadvertently, hurting Kylo Ren by use of her lightsaber, or maybe something else unexpected. So the character of Luke Skywalker, like I say, even in Legends material, there were a lot of aspects of, the content that was actually written in Legends that implied that Luke Skywalker was literally able to come back from the netherworld of the Force at will and back to life. And since that this movie is going to have a lot of inspirational pieces from the expanded universe, you can only imagine what they are trying to do with this movie. So that's the thing that really boggles my mind right now, is of course as to why it's described that Luke Skywalker, portrayed by Mark Hamill, is planned to appear in the form of a Force Ghost, where he eventually transitions from the transparency and the blue hue all the way over to being solid, as if he is flesh and blood, helping out Kylo Ren and placing his hand on his forehead. So, like I say guys, Episode 9, it's said to include all of these different powers, not just for Rey and Kylo Ren, but also for the character of Luke Skywalker. And how great of an idea would it be if J.J. Abrams is literally trying to bring Luke Skywalker back to life from the netherworld of the Force in a temporary way, right? Maybe this is Luke Skywalker's way of helping out Kylo Ren. Like I say, guys, this is by far the biggest indicator and/or hint out there that Luke Skywalker is going to come back to life and will resurrect himself, at least temporarily, for a certain cause, within the third act of Episode 9. Like I say, we do know that Richard E. Grant said that there will be many saga-wide implications and earth-shaking twists and turns in this movie, so expect the unexpected in Episode 9. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.